The lion lay beneath the acacia tree while vultures circled above a carcass that no human wanted. Its muscles looked powerful, its teeth looked clean, and its body seemed to promise an enormous meal. Yet the hunters who found it stepped backward instead of reaching for their knives. They had eaten antelope, buffalo, goat, and even insects during harder seasons. But the dead predator remained untouched beneath the burning sun. That refusal was not superstition alone. It was the result of millions of years of biology, energy loss, disease, danger, and cultural memory. Humans will eat almost anything when hunger becomes desperate enough. We roast roots, ferment milk, grind seeds, boil bones, and turn bitter plants into food. We have built entire civilizations around learning what can be swallowed safely. So why do lions, wolves, eagles, and other predators rarely become ordinary dinner? The obvious answer seems to be taste. Many people assume carnivore meat must be foul, tough, or impossible to cook. But taste is only a small piece of the puzzle. The deeper reason begins long before a predator reaches a plate. It begins in the grass. Sunlight falls across a field and feeds thousands of blades with silent energy. A herd of deer moves through that field and converts a fraction of that energy into flesh. Most of the sunlight never becomes deer. It disappears through heat, movement, digestion, waste, and survival. Then a wolf chases the deer and converts an even smaller fraction into wolf muscle. Every step upward in the food chain burns away most of what came before. By the time energy reaches a top predator, nature has already paid an extraordinary price. This is the first hidden rule behind what humans choose to eat. Food is not only flesh. Food is stored sunlight, stored water, stored land, stored labor, and stored time. A cow can eat grass that humans cannot digest and transform it into calories we can use. A lion must eat animals that already consumed enormous amounts of grass. Raising one lion therefore means raising many prey animals first. The math becomes brutal before the lion is even old enough to butcher. Dr. Mara Hale once demonstrated this problem to her students with 10 bowls of grain. She placed 9 bowls on one side of the table and 1 empty bowl on the other. She explained that most energy vanishes between one level of the food chain and the next. Then she poured nearly all the grain onto the floor. Only a small handful remained in the final bowl. That, she said, is what reaches the predator. Her students laughed at the mess until she asked how many farms would be needed to feed a city with lion meat. The room became quiet. A city that relied on predator meat would need fields for prey, water for prey, shelter for prey, and more land for waste. It would also need secure facilities strong enough to contain animals designed to kill. Every meal would begin with an expensive chain of smaller meals. Herbivores make economic sense because they sit closer to the original source of energy. Predators make economic sense only when they hunt freely and humans do not have to feed them. But free predators are difficult to harvest. They live far apart, defend large territories, mature slowly, and often raise few young. A herd of cattle can be gathered into one field. A population of wolves may be scattered across hundreds of kilometers. A farmer can count sheep before sunset. No sensible farmer wants to count tigers in the dark. The problem grows worse when reproduction enters the equation. Many prey species are built to produce offspring quickly because many of their young will die. Predators usually reproduce more slowly because their bodies demand greater investment. A rabbit can fill a landscape in a few seasons. A lion pride cannot. This difference makes herbivores easier to domesticate, replace, and breed. It also explains why the animals in barns are usually social grazers rather than solitary hunters. Cattle tolerate hierarchy. Sheep follow groups. Goats accept fences. Chickens reproduce rapidly. A leopard sees a fence as an insult and a keeper as a possible meal. Domestication requires more than taming one friendly animal. It requires predictable breeding across many generations. It requires manageable aggression, flexible diets, rapid growth, and a willingness to live near others. Most large predators fail several of those tests at once. Even when a predator can be trained, training does not erase its biology. A calm wolf still possesses the jaws of a wolf. A relaxed crocodile still carries the reflexes of an ambush hunter. The danger adds cost to every stage of production. Workers need stronger barriers, specialized tools, medical plans, and constant vigilance. One mistake can turn a feeding routine into a fatal attack. This is not a theoretical concern. Human history contains many attempts to keep dangerous animals for spectacle, status, warfare, or worship. The records repeatedly end with escapes, injuries, and blood. Feeding those animals was expensive even when nobody planned to eat them. Turning them into livestock would multiply every problem. Yet cost and danger still do not explain the full avoidance. Some predators are small enough to manage. Some reproduce quickly. Some can be trapped without risking an entire village. Humans have eaten dogs, snakes, fish, sharks, birds of prey, and many other hunters in particular places and times. The rule is therefore not absolute. It is a pattern. And patterns become interesting when exceptions appear. Chef Owen Voss discovered this during a private dinner for wealthy collectors. A client brought him legally sourced meat from a large predatory animal. Owen expected a shocking flavor. Instead, the meat tasted dense, dark, and strangely ordinary after hours of careful cooking. The guests were disappointed because they had paid for danger and received something resembling tough game. The flavor was not worth the price. The texture demanded slow preparation. The yield was poor. The story surrounding the meal was more valuable than the meal itself. That moment revealed another hidden truth. People do not simply eat what is edible. They eat what is practical, familiar, available, socially approved, and emotionally acceptable. Predators often fail all 5 conditions. Their meat is difficult to obtain. Their bodies are built for movement rather than efficient fat storage. Their populations cannot support heavy hunting. Their cultural meaning is often stronger than their culinary value. And then there is the second major danger hiding inside the flesh. A predator does not only consume calories from its prey, it can also collect whatever its prey collected. Mercury, industrial chemicals, pesticides, and other persistent toxins can move through food webs. Small organisms absorb tiny amounts. Larger animals eat many small organisms. Predators then eat many larger animals. The concentration can rise as it climbs. This process turns the top of the food chain into a biological storage vault. The predator may appear healthy while carrying compounds accumulated across hundreds of meals. Toxicologist Priya Sen calls this the invisible inheritance of appetite. Each victim passes part of its chemical history into the hunter. In oceans, the pattern can be especially severe. Tiny plankton absorb contaminants from vast volumes of water. Small fish eat the plankton. Larger fish eat the small fish. Sharks, tuna, and other high-level hunters consume the larger fish. A single predator can therefore contain the chemical echoes of an entire ecosystem. This is why health agencies often advise limits on certain large predatory fish. The warning is not based on fear of sharp teeth. It is based on what those teeth have been eating. Land predators can face similar problems near polluted environments. A fox feeding around industrial waste may consume contaminated rodents. A bird of prey may gather toxins from fields treated with persistent chemicals. A scavenger may collect residues from many dead animals. The higher and longer an animal feeds, the more opportunities it has to accumulate unwanted substances. Age matters too. Large predators are often older when killed because they grow slowly. More years can mean more exposure. More exposure can mean greater chemical concentration. The meat may look clean while carrying risks no knife can remove. Cooking can destroy some pathogens. It cannot reliably erase heavy metals. Fire changes flavor. It does not negotiate with mercury. The third danger is even more immediate. Predators frequently host parasites adapted to life inside meat-eating bodies. Some parasites move through the food chain by waiting to be eaten. They form cysts in muscle. They survive inside organs. They use one hunter to reach another. When humans eat undercooked carnivore flesh, they may accidentally enter that cycle. Trichinella is one famous example associated with several meat-eating or omnivorous animals. The parasite can hide in muscle tissue and cause severe illness when consumed alive. Freezing may not kill every strain. Smoking may not provide enough heat. Traditional preparation can fail when the organism is unusually resilient. This does not mean every predator is infected. It means the uncertainty is costly. A herd raised under controlled conditions can be monitored, vaccinated, tested, and inspected. A wild predator arrives with an unknown medical history written inside its tissues. It may have eaten sick prey. It may have scavenged a decomposing carcass. It may carry bacteria from wounds, soil, water, or other animals. Predators bite for a living. Bites create injuries. Injuries create pathways for infection. Scavenging predators face an additional burden because their meals may already be decaying. Their digestive systems can tolerate challenges that human bodies cannot. The animal survives the meal. The human who eats the animal may inherit what survived with it. At this point, the mystery seems solved. Predator meat wastes energy, costs more, carries risk, and offers little culinary reward. But biology alone cannot explain the intensity of human disgust. For that, we have to enter the world of symbols. Historian Elias Rowe spent years studying how societies divided animals into categories. Some animals became food. Some became labor. Some became companions. Some became gods, enemies, ancestors, or monsters. Predators often occupied the most emotionally charged categories. A lion was not merely a body with protein. It represented kingship, violence, courage, and domination. A wolf could symbolize wilderness, treachery, loyalty, or spiritual power. An eagle belonged to the sky, war, prophecy, and empire. Eating such animals could feel like stealing power. In some traditions, that made the act sacred. In others, it made the act forbidden. Both reactions kept predator meat outside ordinary cuisine. Rare ceremonial eating does not create a stable food system. It creates stories. Those stories can survive long after the original ecological reasons are forgotten. A village may stop hunting a predator because the population is too small. Generations later, descendants may remember only that eating the animal brings misfortune. The taboo protects the species even when nobody remembers the mathematics. Culture can preserve ecological wisdom in the form of fear. It can also preserve prejudice, identity, and status. A forbidden animal helps define who belongs to a group. "We do not eat that" can become another way of saying, "we are not them." Predators are especially useful symbols because they already stand apart from ordinary herd animals. They do not graze peacefully beside human homes. They arrive at night. They take livestock. They leave tracks, blood, and silence. The emotional relationship begins with competition. For most of history, humans and large predators wanted the same prey. A wolf that ate a deer removed food from human hunters. A lion that killed cattle attacked stored wealth. A leopard near a village threatened children and animals. Predators were not potential dinner first. They were rivals. Killing a rival and eating livestock required different habits. Livestock is raised, protected, selected, and slaughtered according to routine. A dangerous rival is tracked during crisis and killed under tension. Its body may be damaged, diseased, exhausted, or far from home. There may be no safe way to transport it. There may be no tradition for butchering it. There may be no desire to place the enemy in the family cooking pot. Disgust often grows from repeated practical avoidance. But there is another layer hidden beneath disgust. Humans recognize something of themselves in predators. Their eyes face forward. They plan. They stalk. They cooperate. They protect territory. They kill other animals with intention that seems disturbingly familiar. Herbivores are easy to imagine as harvestable bodies. Predators resemble competitors with minds. This resemblance can make eating them feel uncomfortably close to eating a fellow hunter. Modern food systems make predator meat even less likely. Industrial agriculture rewards animals that convert feed into body mass quickly. It rewards calm behavior, dense populations, rapid reproduction, and standardized cuts. Predators are the opposite of that design. They burn calories through movement. They require protein-rich feed. They resist crowding. They mature slowly. Their bodies vary because wild survival does not care about supermarket uniformity. Factories demand predictability. Predators produce complexity. The most disturbing reason is therefore not one single poison or parasite. It is the realization that predator meat concentrates the failures of the entire system beneath it. It concentrates lost energy. It concentrates chemical exposure. It concentrates biological risk. It concentrates ecological damage. It concentrates the violence required to keep and kill an animal built to resist control. The higher the meal sits on the food chain, the larger its hidden shadow becomes. This shadow is usually invisible on the plate. A steak does not display the grass, water, and years that produced it. Predator meat hides another complete animal economy behind that first one. To eat the hunter, we must first feed the hunter's prey. To raise the hunter, we must contain the instincts that make it a hunter. The absence of lions, wolves, and eagles from ordinary kitchens is therefore not an accident. It is a warning written by ecology and edited by culture. Nature does not forbid us from eating predators. Nature simply makes the bill difficult to ignore. And when humans finally read that bill, most of us decide the meal was never worth ordering.